Right now, we're watching the stock market remain roughly trading flatline right now. When you look at the S&P, just slightly in the green. Of course, it's been trading throughout the day after we got that update that more initial jobless claims were filed here, coming in line with expectations at 1 million. Of course, we've seen a lot of those jobless claims over the last few weeks, that adding to stress. And that being one of the topics that the CDC is stressing as well, saying that more and more Americans are suffering from unseen levels of anxiety as well as depression during the pandemic, up notably over what we saw last year. And for more on that, I want to welcome our next guest, author and wellness guru Deepak Chopra joins us right now. And Deepak, I want to start the conversation off, not just because of what we're seeing with a lot of Americans losing their jobs, experiencing stress and anxiety, but wanted to start with a question maybe more tuned to our investor audience out there who have been, grappling with the unexpected nature of what we've seen play out this year. We went from the quickest bear market ever. We were down 30%, now back up to all-time highs. A lot of whiplash out there. It kind of brought to mind to me the feeling of a frog in boiling water and how some people might become numb to the risks after experiencing something like that. So what would you kind of stress to our investors watching the show now about protecting themselves from maybe following this herd mentality and maybe overlooking some risks right now?
So, of course, you're asking the wrong person because I am not stressed ever about anything, including the stock market. But having said that, the COVID-19 virus has brought to our awareness the fact that life is unpredictable. We took life for granted, and now we can't. So life is unpredictable. We have to face that. And so is the stock market. It's unpredictable. We have to face that. But if we look at the history of the stock market, the worst thing you can do right now is stress about it or panic. Because if you look at the history, long term, the stock market always does best. And all you need to do is watch what people like Warren Buffett are doing and stick in and not panic and stay there for the long haul, because ultimately the stock market is a product of human imagination, human creativity, and human innovation. And that's not stopping. In fact, it's getting better. I just watched your interview with Salesforce and other technology companies. If anything, the situation is going much better after the crisis is over.
Yeah, and as we played earlier in the show, Warren Buffett's clip there of never betting against America, an important reminder here as well. And you might not be stressed. Some of our viewers might be, especially, I just want to put the stats out there because it was shocking when I read them. The CDC publishing their survey results in June that showed a pretty big spike in anxiety here. It also showed 40% of Americans reported struggling with mental health issues or substance abuse. Anxiety was at 3 times the level we saw last year in Q2. Prevalence of depressive disorder was about 4 times what was reported last year. So when you're seeing all that play out, I know you're out with your 91st book, which is insane to think about, Total Meditation, coming out later in September. But what are some of those tips and tricks you give to people to maybe reduce stress during all these unknowns?
I've spent the entire lockdown helping people globally with stress management. And different people respond differently. So finally, what I realized is you have to make this extremely practical at every level. And we've created something, a partnership with a blockchain enterprise, Hedera, because we recognize the Chopra Foundation has a program called neveralone.love. So check it out, www.neveralone.love, where we want to create a global platform for mental well-being. All those statistics that you mentioned are absolutely true. The second most common cause of suicide in teenagers is the second most common cause of death in teenagers is suicide. It's becoming a big issue everywhere. So what we thought is, how about creating a distributed platform for mental health and support? And that could be through a blockchain technology. And that's why we partnered with Hedera, distributed platform, totally transparent, traceable, with collaboration and proof of work with digital bots to help identify people who are depressed and who are at risk of hurting themselves or hurting others, or who just need to manage stress. There are innumerable ways to manage stress, but there are certain things that are very important for mental hygiene, which are sleep, meditation, yoga, breathing, exercise, nutrition, healthy emotions, connection with nature, but most importantly, us helping each other. And a blockchain technology can do that.
It's a very interesting approach on top of everything else you're doing. As I said, the 91st book, Total Meditation, out on September 22nd. And we didn't even have time to mention the PBS documentary or a special, Becoming Metahuman, coming out in 2 days as well. Deepak Chopra, appreciate you taking the time to chat with us as always. Be well.
Thank you, as always. A pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Hey investors, Zack Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.